Hello, welcome to Untier Talk. Boy, this is gonna be a weird one because it's literally it's been almost a month actually since we last recorded. We're recording this March 19th, and the last time we recorded was February 24th. I pinpointed it exactly because we recorded immediately after Termy played Lopney Kicks. Uh, so boy, it's been a while. Um, Yet I also when I was looking at it, that episode got like no, like none of them get a lot of views, but even for this was rather low, and I think that might have been just like my favorite one we did. Like if we had to just quit and go out on some episode, if we never brought it back, I'd be like, yeah, that's a great one to end on. Uh, Probably
Yeah.
listen to that instead of this one. It was me and Hajad today, getting back into the swing of things. Not much has happened, obviously. That's part of why we could just take all this time, partially because we're just busy, but also LTPL's over. Classic playoffs haven't started yet because Black White's being insane. PU Open hasn't started yet, so we've just had that bit of time where stuff has happened, but not like you got to immediately cover it. No one's listening to this to need, like, oh, MZ stepped down. I didn't know until I listened to Untier talk. Like that's not a thing. Um, so we can sort of dodge that stuff. Although I guess we did also record one day before the Pokemon Direct with the remakes and the legends and the
Oh shit, dude, that was so long ago. I remember setting a call with a lot of the British players, and we were just like talking about it. That's how long ago it was. Jesus Christ.
yeah. I was in a chat like live watching it with the PU Discord, and that was something. It's just
Hmm. What's your takes on that? Like, I know a lot of people are hating, I guess, on the DVP remakes, but a lot of people are super excited about the Arceus stuff that was going on.
yeah, that seems to be the general thing. I think there is a possible world where the DP remakes are like actually reasonable, despite how well Platinum holds up and how easy it is to emulate and whatever. There is a world where that team actually like infuses a bit of their own stuff in and makes it um, really worthwhile. But it doesn't seem like it seems like if you're an older fan who's already been in the series for forever, you should probably like skip this one. I think like the art style is fine, whatever, but it hasn't shown off anything yet that's like, oh, this is a big selling point aside from doing it again. Um,
Yeah, I feel like from what I could tell, the entire start of the game until way past you beat the Elite Four is just going to be standard Pokemon Platinum or Pokemon Diamond Pearl. So I don't expect anything beyond that to change. The potential path for creativity, I think, is going to be post game. But we'll see
Maybe
how they try to infuse maybe newer Pokemon like from after Gen 4 into it.
it's possible. It's possible they do like a Delta episode type thing, but for Giratina stuff after doing the regular plot. But like, there's no way to know any of that, and I don't necessarily strongly expect that to be the case. And I don't know. That's fine. It's just
Yeah.
or as Emerald felt like the last gen that, as much as I adore Emerald, like it could have used an update, especially with things like physical special split not being in the game, where Oras like made sense to remake it, and even that like Oras does not hold up as well at the time that Emerald did, but it at least changed a good few elements and updated a lot more than just the mechanics and whatever. So, without knowing what this is going to do, it's hard to judge it right now. It was really just a hey, this is coming thing. Um, Also, got to wait on the competitive implications of if we're going to get more DPP mons back in the game. I, for one, would love to have Cricketune back as a sticky Weber. That's
What
if
do you mean,
it's
bro?
compatible with
Scarfurious
Sword and
are gonna be
Shield. And
crazy.
I don't know. I'm kind of expecting though that it ends up more like a Let's Go, and it's not compatible, and it just doesn't impact competitive. But again, like we'll see. We have no way of knowing. So
Yeah, yeah. What
uh,
about the
I'm
other one?
I'm
The
I'm sure
Arceus
Legends will.
VR stuff.
I mean, for that, I think it's objectively good that they're trying something new and pushing the series in a new direction. But the fact that that was the best that they had to show, and the game is coming out so soon, I think suggests that the studio is really fucking with the team trying to make the game, pushing it to come out really early before it's ready and effective. Like, again, we'd have to see, but it doesn't. The concept is good, but it doesn't enthuse me if like they're promising it that early. Early 2022 is insanely fast, especially for a studio that's just notoriously shit at like programming games. And the fact that in the trailer they had to show a 5 FPS chingling because they didn't have other footage, and like most of the game didn't look great. I don't care a lot about graphics, but it just suggests that like this shit is being rushed in a way that is going to make the concept better than the execution.
No, I completely agree with that. I think the key thing as well is that even with them just completely delegating the whole DPP remake stuff, that's traditionally at least that's something that Nintendo would do or Game Freak would do in house.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's showing that they're kind of strained for resources as is.
Yeah, I mean, none of this is super new takes, but Legends is gonna also just throwing it out there. Chikorita lines. I'm sorry, Chikorita. Cyndaquil line pretty boring, especially when compared to the other two starters. That's lame. Come on, just it could have been Chimchar, it could have been Torchic, it could have been any of them. Cyndaquil is the most boring fire starter, and I'll say it, worse than Emboar, who's not very popular, but at least Emboar's interesting. I know it's the third.
That's a hot take.
I know it's the third firefighting. I know it's generally mediocre and ugly. I know everyone hates Pignite. But Cyndaquil line's just kind of boring.
That's a very hot take because I guess a lot of people in my generation, or even in your generation, we both grew up on like the Silver games. More like we could recollect the Silver games or the Gen 2 games far more than the original Gen 1 ones.
I'm the right generation for Gen 2, but I only actually started playing Gen 3. So but even if I had nostalgia, like looking back, even like the Cinderace line, which again gets a lot of well-deserved hate, at least it's more interesting than Lil Rat that also his back explodes sometimes. Like that's it. And it's not even a constant. They're just kind of boring. They're just boring. I don't know.
No, I get that. 100%.
There are simple Pokemon designs that are fine. Like Meganium's really simple, but a lot more aesthetically pleasing and cute than just like Typhlosion's just okay. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking about it from the nostalgic perspective of Typhlosion was like the heir to Charizard's throne, so to speak. So it's like
yeah, it has the same exact stat distribution.
Appreciated in any way. So yeah, if anything, it's way overhyped than it is underhyped as a Pokemon. It's just kind of basic.
I mean, my theory is they didn't want any Gen 4 starters, but for the nostalgia people, they wanted the starters to be from before Gen 5, like from that older era. So that gives them 3 gens to work with. They'd already decided that a Samurai and an Archer would be cool, and they figured that Blaziken and Charizard just wouldn't fit as well into the aesthetic. That's my guess, but a little bit of a letdown comparing that starter trio. Like, much more boring. I gotta get that off my chest, dude.
I get it 100%.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm not enthused on picking up either of these unless they show a lot more. But that was just those were like not. We haven't seen that much of either of these games, so that's fair enough.
Yeah. It's not like we can make huge assumptions about storylines or anything. Like we literally got like 10 seconds of footage, pretty much each.
I mean. Yeah, I think the better prospect for Legends is that it leads to a finally like really good game in 2027 or something.
Yeah. Also, still, even though they're quite close within the span of an actual game cycle, they're still fundamentally far away. Like a year is still a long time to wait for a Pokemon game.
Yeah, Legends is probably going to come out within a year, and BDSP even before that. So that is, it's really still quite short. Like, they wrapped up the Sword and Shield DLC pretty recently, and for
Oh yeah,
Legends
that's
to be
fair.
running on an engine that no Pokemon, I don't, I'm assuming that's a totally new engine that no Pokemon game has run on before. It might not be a brand new engine entirely, but I don't think that's the same Sword and Shield engine. If it is, you've got to do a lot of work to go from Sword and Shield to Legends and stuff. So for that to already be coming out in 2022 is fucking nuts. Like, the last thing I
Yeah,
wanted was to see them keep cranking out really fast games, like, for the good of the series and whatever. But Pokemon
yeah.
sucks.
I
I'll
think
just be playing other stuff. Well, I guess that was worth talking about. What else? What
yeah,
else? What else? I'm just looking through Hub to be like, it really is just promotion stuff and step down stuff that uh, tier shifts where nothing
actually.
changed and classic. That's pretty much it.
I do think a lot of people would like to hear from you, like specifically about the terms of your. I don't want to call it a demotion. You're stepping down. That's the word.
Yeah,
Like,
I
why was
chose
it that
to.
you decided to step down now versus I don't know a year from now, or is it like this is the perfect time to step down?
I meant to step down months ago. This was a lot later. That was because 2X got COVID, and it would have been a pain to just leave and not have him like active and able to be promoted. So I stayed on, and like I could have kept doing the job at least for the next couple months. Like, eventually I'll be going to grad school, and then who knows what my time is like. Um, but even then, like, I have no life. I could probably still be running, all the TL duties and whatever. As much like time as that takes away from me, I still have that time to spend. I like being TL and everything, but it just felt like it was time to give the role to other people. It's a combo of,
Yeah,
I've got to make myself be like on and playing Pokemon at this point. I'm on Discord all the time. I love hanging out on Discord. That's fine, but I don't hang out on Showdown or actively play aside from specific tours and stuff. That is no longer like, my tastes have just moved on. I've been hard into specifically just competitive Pokemon, not even talking about in game, for like 7 or 8 years now. Um, and my tastes have changed. I used to just get on and just always hang out on Showdown, and now I'd rather go play Iconoclasts or Hades or whatever other games I'm playing. So I liked doing the TL duties a lot, but you got to actually play the game and be more invested. And I wasn't, and I'd been running the tier for like 3 years. I'm like, yeah, someone else can do this. I don't need to
yeah. I think that's a
I don't need to make myself keep playing this game. I'll still help stick around a bit, make sure things are going well without me, make sure people are getting everything done they need to. I'm still on the QC moderation because that just needs more people. But yeah, eventually I'll just step down, and I'm not gonna leave because I like hanging out here. But I got other shit now. I'm a
yeah.
very slightly better rounded human being.
Yeah, 100%. I think a lot of people are scared usually when a TL quits. That means that TL is never, this just gone like forever. It's like they died and they're not coming back. So it's good to hear that at least you're sticking around for the nearish future until at least grad school. So yeah, plus that's crazy. Like I've been doing my grad school applications as well, and that's a whole stress in itself because I was working on it from there was this period of time where I was just completely inactive in Pokemon the same way you were, and it was like the start of January-ish until like February. I was just not playing at all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I barely logged into Showdown like for that entire month, and then just randomly one day you get this like weird craving to play fucking ladder of all things. Built a team really quickly, and then just tried to play. And since then, I've been quite enjoying just the challenge of ladder, just like the challenge of playing Pokemon in a way which is like sustainable and consistent on ladder. But yeah, it's like those things where you don't really your interest doesn't just fall off a cliff and just die instantly. It's like a slow, gradual. decrease, and with life duties and other stuff that comes into it. So 100%. Like, I think people will be happy to know that you're sticking around for at least the near future.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, I only get on Showdown for a specific tour. For the last couple months, I've only popped on to like play for a tour or build for a tour. Uh, that's really it. That's a huge part of just separating myself. And I'll come back. I'm gonna be um, joining all the slam opens and making one last slam. Not like pushing for playoffs or really expecting to do well, because obviously I haven't played for a while. I've gotten, you get worse at the game, all that. But just for fun, I'll probably still join like PUPL or whatever. But actually, actively hang out on Showdown and laddering, that hasn't been a thing for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I think part of that is the move. Most of the community has moved from Pokemon Showdown rooms into like the Discord. That's just a natural transition that's happened. It's
I don't even know. Like, define most. Like, maybe over half. Like, maybe the PU Discord is more active areas. But there is a lot on the room. It's just that there's a huge disconnect between the people who are only on Showdown, the people who are only on Discord. I don't want to devalue people who are only on Showdown.
Absolutely. I think the transition that reminds me the most of this is like, you remember the transition from IRC.
Hello? Just broke up.
They began to creep
you just totally hang on. You just totally cut out. So remember the transition from IRC, and then I got nothing.
Yeah. So from IRC to Pokemon chat rooms. So like, most people were in the IRC rooms. I remember back in, I want to say late Black White, early XY.
Mm-hmm.
Well, most people were talking in IRC chat rooms.
I mean, most people who are listening to this probably don't know what IRC is. It's not just a Pokemon thing. It was an old chat client, and it doesn't really matter. It's basically what we had before, like the Showdown room.
Yeah, think about Discord circa 2000. That's basically what IRC is. The entire idea is that it's basically the same sort of transition that we're going through from like a really basic chat client to a slightly more customizable one on PS to an even more customizable one on Discord. So yeah, it reminds me a lot of that transition. So yeah, I think it's super important though to keep things active and going on in the room.
Well, with Discord, sorry, I thought that was it. Just for what?
Nothing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, what Discord does is there's a lot more things that you can do on Discord. Like you said, it's more advanced and better for whatever. But it also abstracts the community. You get fan communities around certain things. I'm not just talking about Pokemon in general. Sports fandoms and bronies and whatever. But Discord abstracts what we're actually interested in to just kind of be a community. Like, I would never leave this Discord, because being here has nothing to do with actively playing Pokemon anymore, really. I mean, why do you think like Galbia still hangs out here? It's a layer of separation. It's about being here with the people that not so much about actually like playing the Pokemons. And I don't know, as Showdown like sort of more and more dips down, eventually like this is gonna be all that's left. It'll just be divorced from the game as much as it possibly can be, and that's fine. Nobody expects like communities to last forever or anything, but the Discord is sort of like how things stick together even when you're not actively playing the game.
Oh yeah, 100%. I personally think the PU Discord, especially if anybody who's listening to this is not in the PU Discord, I'd be surprised. But the PU Discord itself has become like a hub of activity amongst people, and I feel like people are more like open on Discord. Maybe that's just how the thing is. how Discord is in general.
It's
But
because Showdown is just about Pokemon, really. You don't go into the PU room and just have a casual chat, and that's really hard. But like we have rules against that because it's the wrong atmosphere for that. That's everyone else is sort of out of it. Like there are some casual chats, but it's hard to really get a whole chat room involved. It's nothing like what you can really do on Discord with channels and the atmosphere that it has.
100%. Yeah. So
I don't know. I have so many thoughts on this, but they're not well organized. They're not cohesive. I don't write them down or whatever. So I think that's all I really have. I suppose if we wanted to, we could talk about Pokemon.
yeah, I've been playing Pokemon-ish. I know you haven't been playing that much, but I can give my thoughts.
Yeah, not really. I've kept up with some trends and stuff. Still, I was around Council for a while. I can be like, oh yeah, Omastar is getting to be a real big thing right now. But that's about it. I'm kind of annoyed though because like Omastar deserves to be that big thing, but then people turn around and tell me like Charizard, well, it's not that good. Like, how do you deal with Vaporeon? Like, some things lose to things. Why are you okay with that when it's Omastar and not okay when it's Charizard? It's very annoying.
Yeah, I think it's weird. I feel like Omastar is in this weird state where it's useless in some matches, and other matches it will just 6-0 straight up, like not even close. It's in a state where the playstyle that we want to tend towards are the playstyles that it's completely 6-0s. So as the meta becomes fatter and more balanced and people trying to win sustainably rather than cheese people, people will be leaning more towards, okay, well, how do I beat that type of team? And, oh shit, Omastar 6-0s, so guess I'm using Omastar. Yeah, especially with my team is just completely annihilated by Omastar. Like, I have a Lantern and I still get smoked by Omastar.
Well, I mean, Earth Power is like the main covers. That's not surprising.
Yeah. It's not even Earth Power though, it's Meteor Beam. Like, you come in Meteor Beam and it's basically dead.
That's true.
So you're it's like you're stab boosting and you're destroying the Lantern. Like, that's pretty crazy. It reminds me of Archeops in some ways, but I feel like Archeops is a completely different barrel of problems and different things. Yeah, actually, Archeops super reminds me of is it the Oras meta where we had Archeops?
We had Archeops no, we had it in Sun and Moon. We never had it in Oras.
Oh yeah, it was Sun and Moon. It reminds me a lot of that period of SM. I feel like this meta does at least.
I don't think so, but like sure. Like the time when we had Archeops and Magmortar and all these strong things, like I get the concept, but I think the meta in part is such a different field because speed is so different. Like back then Archeops was top speed and that was huge for it. That mattered so much for all these breakers that you had so much of a slower meta. And now we have so many top speed options, so many good like mid-speed options, so many like things hovering around the 85 to 100, and just that alone, like I don't feel the way I felt with Oras.
Yeah, I do actually agree with that quite a lot though, because you remember in Oras SM there was the whole idea of a concept of like a slow breaker, like a slow scarfer, like an Aggron with a scarf or a Drampa with a scarf. Was like quite a popular concept, but now it's just been completely phased out because to every single slow scarfer that's worth using with a scarf, at least, there's always something with a higher speed to it, like a Sneasel or a Talonflame or a Whimsicott. There's so much shit now which just outspeeds the entire low speed that you could maybe want to put a scarf on type of.
Keep going all the way up to Excelgor, just goes faster and faster. It's like even the high speed scarfers. Like what? It doesn't scarf Passimian. Isn't that slower than Excelgor? Or am I crazy? No, it's definitely not. There's no way.
I think it might be the key though. It might be.
Am I wrong about that? Yeah, it is. It's
right.
slower by 1 point. Jolly or like plus speed base 80. Scarfer is 1 point slower than max timid Excelgor. So Passimian
That's
and
alright. Just
Mesprit.
use normal gem fake out. You're good.
What?
Uh, you just use normal gem fake out Selko, obviously, and then final gambit the Passimian. You're all good.
Yeah, but you're already fast enough. You don't need to unburden or anything. You're just.
I misread it.
Yeah, no, it is faster. Excelgor is 1 point faster. Max Timid Excelgor is 1 point faster than Max Jolly Scarf Passimian or Max Timid Scarf Mesprit or any other base 80s we have. Is there anything else base 8? Like, those are the two things you think of, but surely there's more. Hang on. P speed tiers. Look, I got it. Yeah, Braviary, Gallade, Kabutops, Scarf Kabutops. There you go. And Scarf Braviary. I still think Scarf Braviary is bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, Scarf Braviary is shit. I think the sets are now like. Dude, I played against this one dude, and my counterplay for his Braviary was burning it with my lantern. And I burned it, luckily, on one of the schooled tries because I have loads of speed on it. And then he just pulls out the facade and just completely annihilates the rest of my team. Just like facade Braviary. I was just like, what the hell is this, dude? That's not a thing.
I mean, on Scarf it is, because you don't really have a last slot. Like Brave Bird, superpower return, superpower U-turn, or close combat U-turn. Like, you don't need... yeah, I mean, you don't have, return. So, like, facade, yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, like, usually, especially when you're talking about, like, an offensive bulk-up Bravery, you're thinking, like, close combat, something else is that filler, but...
Yeah, Brave Bird, close combat wrist.
Yeah.
No, on that facade's stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just completely shook, mind blown. I think Choice Band is probably the way to... Not the way to go, but like one of the ways to go if you want like a decent breaker.
I haven't really used Braviary since early LTPL. I brought it in like week 2 or 3 or something, but I thought just your offensive boots is better than Choice Band because not removing rocks is so convenient for actually getting it to do shit. 2, Brave Bird Close Combat are not amazing to be locked into when one of them is a recoil move and the other one it has common immunities and whatever. And there's no third scheme that I can think of being able to roost up and actually use some of that bulk.
Oh yeah, 100%. I 100% agree that the boots effect is like a big one, especially considering it's already so powerful without boots or without a boosting item anyway. Like, you don't really need it. But that being said, I do think a lot of the balances that you'll play in this game or in this meta do suffer a lot dealing with high damage output Pokemon. Like, they will just use flat resist like Vaporeon or Lantern on the special side and expect that to check the boot stuff. If that, you just put all the boot stuff in a corner and you say, these are the boots mons that are going to attack me. Like, those are the Pokemon that you'd, I guess, commonly assume checks it. So, to get beyond the Vaporeons and the Lanterns of the world, I do think you need to maybe think about using a Choice Banded Pokemon. And if you were to consider something like that, Braviary is a solid option.
I mean, it's shocking how many in that base 80 speed tier are exactly that. There's Braviary. There's also Gallade. SD Gallade is like worse than the other fighting types, except in the way that it has an attack stat of 125, and at +2 it will blow through everything, and you cannot just passively resist it. And there's Nasty Plot Mesprit, which does that, but a bit weaker and can't beat like Gunfisk or whatever, but with way more bulk. That's...
There's loads of different stuff about Nasty Plot this gen. Was it like given like a huge?
Yeah, it was given a TR.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I was playing on the ladder again, and usually I use my Cophagus as a spin blocker to like a Claydol. And this one Claydol came in, just straight up clicked Nasty Plot on me, and I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck? I already have body press. This is not fair." But luckily he psychicked my Lantern instead of clicking Earth Power or whatever, so I got away with it.
Yeah, no, a lot of new stuff got it. You know, Gengar is obviously the big one that people are like, whoa, Whoa, that's nasty
Yeah.
plotting now. That's a big deal. Alakazam got it too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Alakazam got it too.
I'm
Um,
pretty sure all of the. That's why I'm pretty
Nocta
sure. Like,
Noctowl. Remember when that was a big thing?
oh shit, yeah, that makes a lot of
We,
sense.
we had
You
to,
know when you could just +2 and then just blow back a Regirock just like
yeah,
as if
we
it
had to
wasn't there.
ban. I mean, Noctowl got nasty plot and boots, and then we had to ban it, and that's insane. Because it already had tinted lens hurricane. It was just the rest let it down. I'm actually on the Bulbapedia page now, looking at new stuff that got nasty plot. I think Crawdont might be new.
Crawdon.
Maybe
Yeah,
it
that
got
would
it
just be
via breeding
incredible.
or something. Skuntank, obviously, that's actually worth mentioning.
Oh yeah,
That's
that's notable.
that's P relevant and all that.
Hmm.
Yeah, lots of stuff. They gave a lot of TRs to give a lot of coverage. Who knows
Yeah.
why?
Have you been? What was the thing that you've like? If you were to come back, let's say now, right now, and I told you to build a team, what was the thing that like would interest you most, or building around maybe?
Fuck me, I don't know. I'm gonna have to basically like I will come back and start building, but I'm waiting till the tier shifts because after that is the slam meta, and that's what I'm gonna. That's more what I'm gonna be playing.
Oh yeah, a lot of people saying NU is stealing Vaporeon from us.
NU is gonna
Is
steal
that a thing?
Talonflame and Vaporeon, and we don't know what else. But those two things going are going to be a seismic shift in this meta. So it's like what it's worth playing now. Like I've seen some people playing for Slam, and it's like, yeah, learn what the other stuff does, get a feel for the meta. But if you already have played this meta, then there's not a ton of investment that's going to be worthwhile considering the magnitude of what's going to be leaving.
Yeah, 100%. I think there's something I do need to mess with that I haven't messed with at all is Regigigas. The
Mhm.
entire like sub toxic protect bullshit might
Yeah,
be
no. If I had to come back and mess with something now, it'd probably be Guzzlord. I think there's a lot to fuck around with there.
Guzzlord is actually super sick. The thing is, like, the thing with Guzzlord is that the fairy types aren't very good at checking it in this game. And even if you do get a Moonblast off with a fairy of all things, or a Aromatisse, it's not gonna do. It's not gonna kill it. It's a Guzzlord. It's gonna tank it probably.
Well,
So
you just don't stay in. Like you can tank it, but don't bother. And also, hang on. What's the Clefairy has 60 special attack. Aromatisse is 99. There's a really big difference there.
yeah,
In the
I
power,
just consider them both like fat fairy shits. You know what I mean?
there's a huge difference in the power of our fairy types. Like Aromatisse and Ribombee
What happened
have
to Alchemy, by the way? Did
99
Alchemy
and
just
95.
fall off a cliff?
Um, well, we got
I think I.
we got Aromatisse, and once we got Aromatisse, the only real like and with Aromatisse and Whimsicott and Ribombee and all that, the only real thing Alchemy could do is the bulky boosting stuff because everything else is
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
technically different from everything else we have, but really doesn't have a great niche when you actually get down to it.
Yeah,
So,
that's a fair thing. Yeah, because I
and
think I
the bulky
vaguely remembered
boosting.
somebody.
Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah, I was just gonna say the bulky boosting just kind of went out of style in general, and only sort of came back with Kofag and Runorigus and Zatu really, and with all that, people just kind of not cared. Um, Seeds were also definitely good for alchemy, and terrain took a hit.
Mhm. Yeah, 100%. I think with alchemy, I think I vaguely remember at some point when somebody was cleaning up with it, like the bulky boosting set, as you said, stored power in LTPL, but
Mm-hmm.
it's been a long time since. So I thought,
There was
fuck,
there was
maybe.
there was a game. I mean, it got used multiple times, I'm sure, but there was at least Ham versus Kink. I think something weird happened. No. I think they were both kind of playing bad, and then Ham was gonna win with it, and Kink crit through it.
Mm. Yeah, I vaguely remember somebody about to winning with it, and then they just didn't.
Yeah, I'm 90% sure that if we went back, that would be Ham versus Kink in like week 3 or 4 or something.
Nasty plot Yuxi, by the way. That's something that we forgot out of that list.
Well, I mentioned Mesper. I was like, yeah, all the other ones too. I didn't.
Yeah, but Yuxi's a different level, bro. I love Yuxi.
I don't know about Nasty Plot Uxie. That's not something I have seen people use. I don't know why you would.
Nasty Plot, Giga Drain, Yuxi. That just sounds fire.
That doesn't sound very good.
Just imagine the healing. I'm gonna put Big Root on it.
I mean, people do run Draining Kiss. Yeah, Draining Kiss on it.
Draining Kiss has priority, no? Or is it?
No. You think it does because the only thing that ever used it was Comfey.
Yeah.
It's not in. What week was that Ham versus Kink game? I swear to God, I've got a good memory. That was Ham versus Kink, but I must be wrong.
Honestly, something that I haven't seen that many people use, and I think I want to try it, is like a type of balance which, instead of knocking everything off for the hazards damage, like tricks random scarfs onto things. That just sounds fun.
Oh, not just like have a trick Scarfer, but also like a trick Flame Orb and a trick Black Sludge. Not just.
Yeah.
But yeah, that seems fun. Just a team messing around with trick and whatever. I don't know.
Because at the end of the day, you're not going to get a shit item back, are you? Like, at least at the top end of the ladder, you're not going to get black sludges and random shit coming back at you. It's probably going to be boots, if anything.
I gotta start thinking about like stuff to mess with and strategies and whatever. Because all I've been doing Nuzlocks and working out strategies for those. Especially trying to do the totem battles in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. That's where my brain's been. Not these competitive strategies.
Oh, are you trying to speedrun Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, or are you just Nuzlocking them?
Nuzlock, yeah.
Yeah.
Turns out, fun fact, Fortress, incredibly useful for totems. Eats Togue, eats Mimikyu, can screens and volts on Kuma-O. Haven't done Rabombi yet, but I'm sure it'll beat Rabombi. And I'm going to try to just 1v1 Ultra Necrozma with it. Fortress is kind of sick.
Yeah, Fortress does sound like... Fortress, the thing with it has since Gen 2 has been its typing has been super nice, so...
Well, yeah, Bug Steel has always been good. Like, that's... Since we've had Bug Steel, we've had Scizor and Fortress, and that's, it's a big... Fortress isn't in the game, I know, but what was it in SM?
Was Fortress the original utility mod? The original Pokemon that did nothing apart from just do utility?
No, that would be Skarmory?
Fortress and Skarmory were the same gen, no?
Yes. But, like, if we're talking about which one of them took off for that, you didn't have any of the hazards in Gen 1, so I don't think any of them are exactly pure utility. Come Gen 2, right, we're talking about things that only spike. I think Skarmory fits that description more than Fortress.
Yeah, but Fortress also does spin as well.
Yeah, but it also explodes. Whereas Skarmory like, really just sits on things and does... Oh, I'm actually looking at GSC, and apparently it runs Cursed. It runs Cursed sets more than Spikes.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it goes Cursed. It could run Cursed. I think the most common set is like Drill Peck, Whirlwind, Rest, and Spike.
The analysis is Cursed and not Spikes. I
don't think that's the most common. Does it even run Spikes?
The analysis set does not have Spikes.
It might not have Spikes actually. I don't have my DSC teams on me, like on this computer.
In fact, the analysis set suggests running Fortress or Cloister for Spike support, but not actually running Spikes yourself. So yeah, I guess Fortress was the original support one.
Interesting.
All right. Well, I think we can about wrap this up. I'm gonna quickly look at my team builder, see if I have anything for a gimmick. Like I haven't played in a while, so I don't think I have anything. Like the last thing I built was the only thing I built remotely recently was a quick thing I slapped together for a super hidden ability. Hey guys, you should run Parental Bond Normal Kangaskhan. That's my recommendation.
Parental Bond Normal Kangaskhan. Sick. Yeah, that sounds like a sick set to be fair.
Non-mega, hell yeah. So you can, I don't got nothing, so you can go ahead and do whatever.
Okay, so I guess the first set we got is Big Root Nasty Plot Uxie with Giga Drain. That's obviously the number one thing people want to use nowadays.
Yes. Yes.
But but Unreal, I think honestly something that's been super nice when I've been playing ladder. Probably the MVP of my team has been like Cofagrigus, like Iron Defense Cofagrigus, but with Toxic Spikes as well. Just random, you like throw on Toxic Spikes, and if they don't have an immunity, you just lead with it and then just click T Spikes. And surprisingly to me, it's been very much so the case where loads of ladder teams, they're okay with dealing with spikes, but as soon as it comes to T Spikes, it's just a completely different game. Especially offenses.
Yeah.
Offenses, they're not prepared.
I kind of hate T-Specs right now because it really feels like it went from a reasonable thing that maybe you should prep for to just like most of the time T-Specs will be bad and you'd be like, well, that was useless. And occasionally they'll just be way too good and there's no in between.
Yeah, it's 100%. It feels like a matchup fish, but it's such a free fish that it's like at some point you just have to be like, fuck it. Ladder will probably fuck up at a certain point. It's worth using. At least in that sense, as a thing. And also, another thing that I really enjoyed using was Gale Wing's Talonflame, because my team has no speed control whatsoever. It has a Kangaskhan card, and that's it, like in terms of fast things. So having a Gale Wing's Talonflame, just so that when you bring it in, it can, you're getting the first hit off, no matter what, is pretty sick, not gonna lie. Like, versus plus, I got into a scenario where it's versus +6 Umberstar, and my Talonflame, like, clutched up and Gale Wings the fuck out of it. That's pretty useless, but
Gale Wings is totally still worth messing with. Like, it's just the thing you use in a specific circumstance, not the average, but totally, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's been more than a few times where I've played against like ladder demons like Woohoo, where he brought in his Pessimian, I assumed to rock slide the Talonflame, and then I just brain blooded it and it died. So rip to him and that Pessimian.
Got him.
100%.
Well, folks, I think that just wraps our lazy meandering through a bunch of random topics, because that's just how it'd be. Might not come back until slams. Well, there's classic playoffs first and tier shifts before slams, so probably not. But we'll see what we actually end up covering. If I have to leave you with one last thing, play Iconoclasts. God, that game was good.
To be fair, this podcast is more about, you could say it's just about your retirement podcast. You know what I mean? Your retirement
the retirement podcast. Well, there's the title, so I guess that means less work for me.